Well, it rained all night long, and it's supposed to rain on and off today. I'm not really sure how much this rain we're supposed to get, but it's supposed to be insanely windy. They're calling for a heavy windstorm today. We were supposed to get all the winds starting last night, and then all day today. They said up to 72-mile-an-hour winds. But as you can see right now, those trees aren't even moving. So I don't really know what we'll be able to get done today. So let me show you guys something real quick. I'll show you what I did and why I did it. Okay, so we have the FS111, which is my trimmer, and it happens to be Billy's favorite trimmer because, believe it or not, that 111 is lighter than this FS90. So Billy likes using this one better. So what I did was I switched everything up. Let me tell you why. So as you guys know, I do most of my edging, my weekly edging with the trimmer. I really don't use my blade edger at all. I use it the first cut of the season to cut that line back in there, to cut the edge back in on the properties that since last fall and over the winter, they've filled back in, grown back in. So I use the metal blade edger to redo the edges and everything. And then after the first week of cuts, after the first round, and I got that nice edge cut back in there and all the dirt and everything out, not just the grass, I maintain them weekly with the weed whacker. So what I do is, on some of my properties that have a lot of flower beds, I use the Edge It Pro. If you guys don't know what the Edge It Pro is, go check out Jason Ambrose's videos. He covers the Edge It Pro more than anybody. I think he's the first one that brought it on the scene and let people know exactly what it is. So let me show you something. So I set the FS111, left it just the way it was, and now this is going to be Billy's. He'll be super excited about this. It's what Billy's going to use now. I took my KM131 combi that I have a trimmer head for, and I took pieces. I didn't have another one of the, I use the Echo 420s, I think they're called, or 460s, the bump feed, the quick feed, speed feed heads. And I didn't have another one, so I took parts that I had of other ones and I built another one, put one back together. So this is now going to be my trimmer, the combi system with that bump feed head on it, and then Billy's going to get my 111 that he likes better anyway. The reason I did that is because I put Billy's FS90, I put the Edge It Pro onto that one. So there's the Edge It Pro right there. And because of how big the disc is, it wouldn't sit flat against the wall, so I had to half turn this one and remount the bracket back on there so that it's kind of at an angle, but still plenty of support on the head there with the head support so that it doesn't bounce around. So now I have this one set up so that when I get to the ones where I have a lot of flower beds and I like to have the Edge It Pro, it's already on that one and I can grab it. But for everything else, with just sidewalks I gotta edge and normal weed whacking, I can use the KM131. It's already set up for me, and Billy can use the 111. The majority of my properties don't have all those flower beds. I have probably 10 or 15 of them that do, so it's nice to have this with the Edge It Pro already set up and ready to go. So the reason that I also did that is because with the 131 and with the combi attachment, the bracket that holds what would normally be the deflector that goes on here sits flat. So the Edge It Pro disc will not go on there. It has to be at one that has an angle mount, and the 90 has an angle mount, so it fits right on there perfect. The bracket bolts onto there, and then the disc bolts onto the bracket. Then you put your head back on and it's good to go. It will not go on this one because it has the flat mounting instead of the angle, so the bracket won't go on there. They may make another version so that works, I don't know, but this is the one I have. And then my FS111, the bracket that normally goes on here is completely different. It doesn't even have the flat one there like the combi does. So there's no way to mount that bracket on there to use the Edge It Pro on there. Also, the 111 and the combi are way more powerful than this 90. So I wanted, for my everyday use, the majority, the bulk of what I do, I wanted to have my regular trimmer set up for just that. For the little bit that I use the Edge It Pro, the FS90 has plenty of power to do what I need to do. One more thing I'm going to show you. We do our commercial properties, and you guys know I have the trash bag right here on the side. There's also one on the right. But for the walkers, there's no trash bags for these. So when, like, Billy's doing that big open area, I showed you guys on videos in the past, the big open area on my one big commercial, there's always tons of garbage out there. Billy gets it all stacked up here inside the deck and then dumps it out, or pulls it all off there when he gets up near the big dumpster they have there and throws it away. So I wanted to give him something he can use for trash, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be on there all the time, because one of the great things about having this deck out front is that you can get up under trees and up under fences and stuff like that because they sit so low. So I didn't want something mounted permanently on here. So I took our old recycling bin from in the house and I put a 3-inch 100-pound pole magnet on there and put a bolt right up through it, right to the inside. So now it just sits on there, kind of flops around a little bit because it's plastic, but it sits on there and it won't go anywhere, and he can throw all the trash he needs to in there as he's mowing along and then dump it in the dumpster. And then when he doesn't need it, he can just take it off and leave it somewhere in the trailer here. He can even stick it to the top of there and it'll stay there. So he has it for whatever he needs to do. I also, when I ordered those 3-inch magnets, this is how they come. Okay, and it's like $9 for a 3-pack of them on Amazon. Just look for 3-inch magnets, and that's how they come, 3 of them in a pack. I took one and I put one of the GoPro mounts on there, and it has the padding on the bottom of it, so if you stick it on anything metal, it doesn't scratch it up. But I have a couple of these. Well, I have one of them, now I have 2 that I use all the time. I just throw it on the mower when I want to shoot something that way, or I can set it on top of pretty much anything metal. Even on surfaces that aren't metal, I can just set it there, turn the camera on. It's small, you don't see it, and it's kind of hidden, and I can throw it on anything I want and just let it sit there to film whatever I want to film. So since a 3-pack came and I only needed one for that garbage can, I made up another one, so now Billy has one too. So what do we do when it's raining? Obviously I can't go out and mow because we got so much rain last night, the ground's just oversaturated. But if we get those heavy winds, wind will dry out a yard 10 times faster than sun will. So hopefully we don't get any more rain the rest of the day and these winds do kick in. I don't want them to be 72-mile-an-hour winds, but hopefully these winds do kick in. It'll dry it up enough that we can go out and get some of the properties done that I have that don't really hold any water. Which on Monday is a bunch of commercials, and half of them don't really hold water at all. So we might still be able to get something done today. But here's the thing. Now, my mowers, I mean, the grandstand's a little bit heavier, but the walkers are super light mowers. So as compared to a lot of other mowers anyway, like this MT right here, I think weighs right around 850, 900 pounds without me on it, and I'm 206. So the Walker B, I think, is like 780 pounds with Billy on it, and he's like 90 pounds. So they're a lot lighter as compared to like Roscoe's ZK, his 61 ZK. I think that thing is like 1,100 pounds without him on it, and I don't even know what the Ferris weighs, but I know it's pretty heavy. So having these lighter mowers, and I've said this in many videos before, allows us to mow when a lot of other guys can't mow. Without, you know, we can mow grass that's wet after it's rained, as long as we're not going through puddles that hold water. We can get on a lot of properties, and it allows us to cut them without destroying the properties, leaving ruts, leaving heavy turn marks, things like that. And last week there were a lot of guys out mowing in my area, but there were some guys that just weren't mowing. They were afraid it was going to be too soft, and we were able to get out of all my properties, I think we're sitting right at 68 or 69 properties this year so far, and it allowed us to mow them, with the exception, I think, of like 6 of them we didn't mow, 4 of them just didn't need cut yet, and the other ones were just way too soft and they had water, so we couldn't mow them. But we got the biggest bulk of all those done, whereas a lot of guys with heavier mowers wouldn't have been able to touch them without destroying them. So that makes a huge difference. Also, I told you guys before this year started, I took my 5-day mow week and I condensed it down to 4 days. And I did that for 2 reasons. One, I picked up a bunch of random lawns throughout the year last year, but days that I was in those neighborhoods were already packed full. So I had them thrown here, thrown there. I was going to multiple neighborhoods, multiple days of the week. So what I did this year is I went over everything over the winter and I condensed them down. So I'm in each town 1 day a week. I'm not all over the place. It made a little bit longer days for us, but it condensed it all down so I'm not hopping and skipping around, a lot less drive time. The other thing it did for me, which is proving to be very efficient now and is proving to be a good idea now, is it opens Friday right up. We have 3 properties we mow on a Friday. 2 of them are pretty big, but they're right together. The yards connect to each other, and then we have my church, which is really big. So none of them are too big of a deal. It's just a couple hours in the morning mowing. So what they did is freed up the whole rest of the day on Friday for us. So in the springtime, like right now, when we have rain days and it puts us behind, I'm not worried to the point where it's going to force me to mow over the weekend. So, and that's the big thing, is you guys know we do a lot of camping in the summertime, so I don't want my weekends taken away. There's going to be weekends here or there where I have to work, I just don't have a choice, but for the majority of the time, I will not be forced to mow on the weekends because I'll be able to, you know, mow a little bit later each day to do a little more and more to catch up if we have a rain day like today, but then we can also on Friday wrap up the rest of it. So it's proven to be very, very good for me right now doing this throughout the winter, reorganizing all my routes. The other thing is just those couple, if we don't have any rain days during the week, just those couple in the morning, on Friday, it allows me to book some landscaping on Friday afternoons, which I told you guys before I want to get back into, but on a small scale. So, but right now we can't do any landscaping because it's not essential. The only thing essential is lawn mowing. So right now it's good to go, and with these rains we're getting, everything is working out perfect. It's falling into place. So all in all, everything is working out really, really well for us. So I just wanted to cover a couple changes that I had made with the trimmers and update you guys on what I've done with that so far. I'm still waiting on them other 2 fuel racks to show up, the last one for the 5 gallon and then the one for the 2.5, and I'll get those last 2 cans off the floor. That opens the floor right up, which has proved to be awesome so far this year. I will note that you guys have heard me say, and I think I've already said this in a video since then, but I'm not really sure. But I said before in a video that I was not happy with this new style Green Touch trimmer rack because not having that push button on each one to pull them off and just having the spring loaded lever on the top, I was worried they were going to fall out. They have not. Billy was really concerned with that too. And now after a full week of mowing, going through all of our properties, we love the new style. We love just that one quick release, pulled off, put it on. It's one less step from pushing the button. Not that that wasn't good. We really did like that style, but we love this style. So we're huge fans of it now, whereas before we weren't. But as far as having the fuel cans off the floor, that has been great as well. I did, for those of you that won the giveaway, I did ship them all out this morning, and I told you guys it was probably gonna cost me like $200 to ship all those out. And I was close. It was a total of $170.40 to ship them out. The Equipment Defender backpack rack only cost $41. The Jungle Gym double backpack rack cost me $27.76. But to ship that 3-piece Equipment Defender trimmer rack, that cost me $97.26 to ship that. So like I mentioned you guys before, companies don't just send me stuff and I can do giveaways. This is all stuff that, you know, is almost $800, $900 worth of stuff that I'm not using now because of the new racks, and then almost another $200 in shipping. So almost out $1,000 for me to do that giveaway out of my own money. So, you know, at the end of the day, that's me saying thank you to you guys for all the support that you've given us and everything you've done for us. So on that note, I'm going to end that here. If we can get out and get some mowing done this afternoon, I'll film that. Maybe that'll be in tomorrow's video. But tomorrow and Wednesday are looking pretty decent for mowing, and then I think Thursday and Friday they're calling for more rain again. So we'll see what happens, but either way I'll bring you guys along for the ride. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys very much once again for everything, for all the support you give us, the views, the comments. We love it all. Thank you.